So day three of 5-minute tips. So this is day number 3 of 5, and sitting posture seems to be a big issue for most people. So we are in a chair, and most of what I see is this. So we're very slumped, or we're sort of sitting back in the chair but we're leaning forward, or we're sort of just hunched over, or we have our phone here. So in terms of how we can address that, I'm going to get a towel, okay, roll it up lengthways, and then we're going to roll it so it's about body width, okay. If you've got some elastic bands, have some elastic bands. And we're just going to set that at the back of the spine, so about waist length. And we're going to then have it in our lower back. Now if I turn side on in the chair, what happens is when we slouch, we have that curly back position. If we can get our bottom back in the chair and put this against our lower back, it's going to help us just maintain our natural curve. Now that's going to feel really weird, and if you can get your legs in 90 degrees and choose an arm chair that's got some arms on it so you can also rest, that stops the shoulders from dragging, okay. Now you might only tolerate 2 minutes, 5 minutes, 10 minutes in that position, and your muscles are not used to working there, so they're going to get sore and they're going to fatigue. So then we take it out, pop it away, go back to working, and then we take it back up in half an hour, pop it in for another minute or 2, until we start to get used to this is our natural posture, okay? Now if we go back to what we did on day 1, so day 1 we were talking about standing, and where our posture wasn't standing. I want you to have the same thing when you're seated. So when you're sitting, you want to have your hands under your sit bones. So if you have a little feel and have a little wriggle around on your fingertips, you're going to notice 2 bones sticking out. They're what we call your sit bones, okay? Now when you slouch, the sit bones will move forward. When you sit up overly tall, the sit bones will slide backwards off your fingertips. Okay, now what we're doing here as we slide the sit bones forward and up and backwards is basically a tilt of the pelvis forward and back. Okay, so going back to what we thought about on day 1 about where sitting posture is, pop your hands under your sit bones and just move your body weight side to side. Try and stop where you feel your weight is even, left and right fingers. Now what we're going to do is slide the sit bones forwards and backwards. And again, we're going to stop where we feel we're on top of our sit bones. We're not in front of them and we're not behind them. You're going to have your towel, so it might be worth having it close to you. Work out where that position is, and then you place your towel in your spine. And then you are now in your optimum seated position, okay? So when you start getting slouchy, which we do, we get tired and we move and we what have you, and it's just human nature. You cannot have perfect posture every day, 24/7. It just isn't going to work. So trying to achieve that is just setting yourself up for failure straight away. But if you start to notice that your shoulder's getting sore, or your back's getting a bit sore, or you feel that you've been in that desk or that comfy position for a while, we just need to change it. So sit yourself back. Notice where you're dominant. So this could be at the traffic lights. It could be obviously stopped at the traffic lights. It could be when you're waiting in the car for, kids. It could be when you're watching telly. It could be at work. You want to notice where you're dominant, so you tend to sit left. You then want to get your bottom back in the chair. Feel where your sit bones are. Wriggle side to side. Wriggle and tilt the pelvis forwards and back. Find when you're even, plant the feet, pop the towel behind you, and now you're in an ideal seated posture. Now you're not going to hold that for long, so don't worry. You'll start doing things and you'll forget, and you might just start to slide forward or lean, or you're reaching. That's okay, like I said, that's natural. But what you want to be able to do is find your ideal easily, okay? And that's the purpose. All right, so what I want you to do is try and find that ideal quickly. All right, so day 3 of your postures, try and find your ideal posture with